From the USAA Softball Hall of Fame Complex in Oklahoma City, it's the Red River Showdown of Softball, presented by Love's Travel Stops on Sooner Vision from ESPN+.
Lineup in Oklahoma, they're used to being here, but they got some new faces on this team as well.
First time in this environment for many of these players. It's first time for anybody in an environment like this, Aaron. Over 8,800 fans. What does it say about this particular series, and what's it say about the sport of softball?
Well, you see the fans, right? Expecting close to 8,900 bodies in this stadium. If the seats are there, I promise you they're going to get filled. That is the trajectory of our sport, and I am elated to be a part of it.
It is a designated home game for the Sooners. They'll play the second two games of this series at Marita Hines Field in Norman. Jordy Bahl is in the circle for Oklahoma tonight. An All-American freshman season of a year ago. She faces Leanne Good, who was off to an incredible start as a freshman herself out of San Antonio Sandra Day O'Connor High School. Leads all freshmen nationally with 52 hits, batting .413. That finds her 11th in the Big 12. In the air, deep to straightaway center field, and it's gone. It's a leadoff solo home run for Leanne Good. She's hit a bunch of them this year. As a matter of fact, that is her 7th. She had a 3-game home run streak earlier this year, and what a start for the Longhorns.
I'm going to tell you, Chad, this doesn't surprise me. I've got to be honest. I've seen a lot of Leanne Good early this season. She's a freshman that does not look like deer in headlights. When you watch this swing, it is confident. It's convicted. She takes hacks with full decision-making behind that swing. All of her weight. I mean, I know, Mendez, you see this all the time too, of freshmen that look a little scared. I see none of that in Good.
She goes all out. She likes to compete, and that's what you want to see. That's why she's at the top of the lineup. That's not something that you see often with top-ranked teams, unless those freshmen are the ones who can earn it, who can be that player for that team. I mean, Jordy Bahl, she's
a stud.
She's great. And for you to come off on a 1-1 count and say, all right, I'm taking this high ball and I'm taking it back out, that's huge.
4th home run given up by Jordy Bahl this season. And we see Mia Scott, the center fielder. Sophomore from Angleton, Texas. Batted .377 a year ago. Real threat on the base paths.
Yeah, 13 stolen bases in 16 attempts. You're going to see her apply pressure on the defense. So hard to defend her legs.
You see the numbers on Jordy Bahl, one of 4 Sooner pitchers with a sub-2 earned run average.
I keep going back to Good in that first at-bat of the game. Keep in mind, again, I can't say it enough. A freshman bat, a freshman who is competing to get that starting 9 role, especially in a leadoff. She's never been in this stage before. She's never played in this stadium. That is just wild.
You would not know.
No.
You know, Mike White this week talked about the need to press the attack to Oklahoma, Aaron. Be the aggressor. That is a big start toward that.
Yeah, we don't want to talk too soon, because I think what we've seen out of Oklahoma is you poke the bear and the bear gets angry and they come back and throw a couple punches, you know? So we got a lot of game left, a lot of room.
2022 national runners-up Mike White, 5th season as the head coach in Austin after a successful tenure at Oregon. He's been to at least an NCAA Super Regional all 12 possible seasons. This one found up the third base side by Scott.
One thing about Mike White, he knows how to put together a strong team. He's been at Texas for a few years, had a lot of his Oregon girls transfer over, but this is really now, this isn't Oregon playing with the Texas uniform. This is now a Texas team. He's gotten his recruits in. Again, Good being one of his freshman players who's just been phenomenal this year. He knows how to coach.
Payoff pitch and ball 4. So Mia Scott, we talked about her capabilities on the base paths, and Oklahoma will be tested with that right now.
Yeah, if I'm the defense right now, I'm wanting to slow the game down. I'm wanting to get in Jordy's ear, calm her down. First 2 batters just haven't seen her best stuff. Missing wide.
Whenever you add the crowd and the pressure into it, Jordy hasn't seen that at this field. I mean, you saw some fans there, but not quite to this level since the World Series when she was hurt against Texas. she's probably wanting a little bit of redemption here. Whenever you try to press in those moments, that's whenever, as a pitcher, you lose your best stuff. You don't spin the ball, you don't place it as well, and you're trying to force things.
See the lineup for head coach Mike White. Alyssa Washington swings through that one, got a piece of it. Alyssa Washington, the junior from Abilene, Texas, Abilene High School. She was on the Big 12 All-Freshman team 2 years ago, and last season was second team All-Conference. Missed about 8 days of action and then came back during the Texas Tech series. 3 homers, 25 runs driven in. 0-2 the count.
You can start to see Jordy challenged with that drop ball low in the zone. Saw some misses high and wide with the leadoff bomb and then the walk to Mia Scott in the 2-hole, and now she's starting to change that approach, Nicole. I'm seeing her bite more on that drop ball at the knees. Couple swing through now from Washington, just barely clipping that pitch. Rolls right off the table.
Just got a piece of that one as well. It'll stay 0-2. That home run for the Longhorns, their 36th of the year. By contrast, Oklahoma has hit 57, but Texas, with these youthful freshmen, they have hit the ball out of the park with more regularity this year.
Yeah, going back to your point of Jordy and her pitches, she's allowed 14, now 15 runs, earned runs, and that's just people catching on to that out pitch that she normally got swings throughs last year, but that's the scout. She's one of the top pitchers in the nation. You got to know what she's throwing. Good miss.
Screwball just misses on the inside part of that plate.
That was a good miss. That was a great pitch. You're throwing 2 strikes, pitch after pitch. She's chasing after balls in the dirt. Kind of trying to tiptoe that line, see if she'll go a little in.
Chad Steers is our plate umpire. Always bring that up when it seems as though there's maybe a little bit of a controversy of a call on a ball to strike. Sorry, Chad, should have gotten that out of the way earlier. Again, a little down and in, and 2-2 now.
This is the 3rd time that Jordy Bahl in this first inning. She's 15 pitches in. This is the 3rd time that she's thrown 2 balls in a row. I think for her so far this season, what she's had to overcome is attacking early. She's letting kind of herself get behind in counts, and that's where she loses the hitters, and that's where she loses the swing throughs.
Washington with another foul ball. Patty Gasso talking this week about the luxury she has with 4 pitchers who she feels like could go out and pitch all 3 games and start in a series such as this. So many options. And she said, you know, after what she did with Paige Parker, it was a strain on Paige Parker to pitch so much. She said, I will not do that with a single pitcher. You
Yeah, me
need to
too.
live through that.
Oh,
Swing and a miss. And the first out of the inning comes via strikeout of Alyssa Washington for Jordy Bahl.
that was huge for Oklahoma. Jordy to come back. There was a multiple pitch at bat. Foul ball, foul ball, foul ball. To get this swing and the miss, she hasn't gone up in the zone too often this at bat, but to be able to go back up in the zone, get the strikeout, that's a big response to the home run, the leadoff home run. You get a runner on. All right, you know what? I'm back in. We get this battle. We're right back in it.
75th strikeout of the year for Jordy Bahl, one of 3 Sooner pitchers with 70 strikeouts or more. And she'll face Courtney Day, the junior from Pearland, Texas.
Oklahoma, truly a pitch by committee attack. Very evenly split innings between 3 of their arms. Jordy just barely leading coming into this game with 59 innings, followed by Nicole May with 54 and Alex Storako, the transfer from Michigan, with 52. very evenly distributed. I mean, they truly have approached this year with a staff mentality, and that's by design. Jen Rocha stepping into this program and really revamping the game plan for the Arms. She is a genius. I mean, truly a talent that was added to the staff, and they have completely taken their pitching approach to a new level.
Courtney Day able to check her swing on that.
A lot of times whenever you look at teams, you'll see one pitcher that has 20+ innings, or if there's two arms, you're like, wow, that's a staff right there, and they'll be kind of neck and neck. But to see three, that is so rare. That is so rare. So for Oklahoma, it's not like they needed any extra help with run production and keeping the offense down, but it's just, like you said, it allows them to be a lot more flexible and a lot more unpredictable.
Well, two of these Arms on this staff have Women's College World Series experience, let alone national championships under their belt. That is about as valuable as it gets for an arm in the circle. They can pitch under that pressure.
Swing and a miss. It is back-to-back swinging strikeouts now for Jordy Bahl after the leadoff home run and the walk, and it's 2 down and a runner at first.
Starting to get in flow here, finding a way to get swing throughs both on the rise ball and now on that drop ball. I really feel like the spin rate is starting to get tighter. I think she's getting in flow.
Yeah, and you can notice on Kenzie Hansen on her chest guard, she has a piece of blue tape right there. That's for Jordy. Okay, focus on your middle point, and then you can split from there. Being able to work up and down, that you don't see that too often effectively with pitchers who can go up and down. So having that middle point of, okay, this is where I'm starting, and then the pitches can go from there, but this is my starting point. That's huge for Jordy to lock in on, because we've seen sometimes balls in the dirt, sometimes balls high. Whenever she controls her pitches, that's where you get those swing throughs, like we saw the strikeout with the rise ball, strikeout with the drop ball.
1-1 the count to Katie Simmons, the sophomore from Humboldt, Texas. Sooner defense, Boone, Coleman, Torres. Got the All-American shortstop Grace Lyons back against Iowa State. And this is a defense that is truly the bedrock of this Oklahoma program. You talk about the home runs and the pitching. This is what Patty Gasso has prided the program on. They've committed 6 errors so far in now 31+ games this year, Nicole.
And a few, I think most of their errors came in 2 or 3 games. It wasn't like it was one error here. It was a game where their defense was kind of off and made 2 or 3 errors, and another game, 2 errors here, 1 error there, but it's not error here, error there. So they are very, very solid defensively, even whenever Grace Lyons was out. But you add her back into that equation, it's pretty lethal.
Ooh, that one comes in and hits Simmons. So it'll be runners at first and second and 2 down. That is the 4th batter that Jordy Bahl has hit with a pitch this year.
This one, that rise ball, we talked about that tape, wanting to go up through the zone. Jordy's just falling off of her power line a little bit. Wants to go in, and yep, she gets it right in on those hands. That's the thing that Texas kind of knows about Jordy. Okay, we don't know who to expect, but once we see her, we know that she's gotten a lot of earned runs this year. We know that she struggles getting ahead in the count. Let's make her work for it. Let's work for our own batters, for our own team here. Both of the runners on base right now came from a walk and came from a hit by pitch. You got to take advantage of that.
Viviana Martinez with 2 aboard and 2 outs. 34 runs driven in. Leads the Longhorns and is 4th in the Big 12. The freshman from Tucson, Arizona. Union High School. Dad Victor played in the Seattle Mariners minor league organization. There's been a real, I don't know if you call it changing of the guard, fresh air, whatever you want to say with this Texas team. It's so unusual not to see Janae Jefferson out there, isn't it? Just one of the greats.
She's incredible.
She is.
But with Good, Scott, Martinez, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for many years, and not just in the Big 12, nationally. Time called.
Happy to see Hansen take control here, have a word. She's in charge of this battery. And look, if I'm Texas, you talk about adjustments, Nicole. If I'm Texas, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to force Jordy Bahl to labor in the circle. I'm going to take until I get a strike. She's missing wide. When she does hit over the plate, you saw Leanne Good send it yard. So I'm going to get really picky. I'm going to make her find the white of the plate.
I think with Texas, their approach is great. You've seen a lot of long at-bats. That was pitch 30 of the first inning. But one thing that I think that they can do is pick a location, pick high or pick low, but you can't be sitting both. Jordy has too much movement with both of those pitches.
Lifted foul, count will stay 2-2.
And right there with Martinez, a 2-1 count. She has a swing through to rise ball in the eyes. Like, that just can't happen in a hitter's count with a runner in scoring position. So it's right now, I think it's just count management. Again, we're early in this game, but taking this feedback and using it in the next 6 innings, you've got to make those adjustments.
I think both of the teams know whenever you get runners on base in this type of situation, environment, you got to make the most of it early.
So a full count with 2 runners aboard. A run home. If you are just joining us, you got to your TV set late. Leanne Good, a leadoff home run. Texas a 1-0 lead. This payoff pitch bounced back up the middle. Cleanly over to it as Jennings, and the inning is over. Mike White talked about being aggressive. Aaron Miller doesn't get much.
That's holy turf right there.
It is.
Holy ground right there. Taylor Maples put out a tweet saying in the bathroom at the Hall of Fame Stadium, a UT fan says, none of these faucets work. And then he said 10 OU fans were saying, you have to press the button. You think it's a home field. They know how the faucets work in the restroom.
In to lead things off is Jada Coleman for the Sooners. The Oklahoma batting lineup. Coleman and Tiare Jennings. What incredible freshman and sophomore campaigns they have had. It's presented by Norman Regional Health System. Haley Lee in as the DH tonight. Kinsey Hansen and Grace Lyons came back for Oklahoma in the Iowa State series. All she did was earn Big 12 Player of the Week honors for her performance there. Lifted into left center field, and it's off the glove of Scott. It's going to fall. You know, Jada Coleman hustling all the way, takes second. She's going to go to third. That may end up being a throwing error after the dropped fly ball. We could have 2 errors charged on that play.
Something about leadoff hitters here tonight. Jada Coleman doesn't come off with a leadoff home run, but you could see center field and left field as they were running in. There was no communication. You could see them running full speed at each other. This is a ball that should be caught. Jada Coleman takes full advantage, and there it is. You can kind of see it. You see the sun kind of trying to be shaded. And with that, Jada Coleman is a smart, aggressive base runner. If she gets 3 steps off and you lob that ball to second base, she's going to take that, and all of a sudden you have, instead of 1 out, instead of a runner at second, you have a runner at third with Tiare Jennings up to the plate.
And you say it over and over, Oklahoma is hard enough to stop when you do not make mistakes. If you give them free opportunities, they can really make you pay.
The ball has to be caught. You can't give up errors like that. You cannot give up bases like that to a team like OU.
Tiare Jennings. Opportunity for the Sooners to bounce back quickly.
Not to mention the speed of Coleman. I used to always tell myself in playing outfield, every step I take is 3 that a base runner takes. When you've got wheels like Jada Coleman, no wonder she's standing at third base.
That's 4.
I mean, my goodness.
Just 1 error charged on the play, the drop fly ball. You probably could have charged one on the throw back in or the dropped throw as well, but it's just 1. Chopper gets through into center field, and we are tied all of a sudden as Tiare Jennings sends home Jada Coleman. It is 1 apiece.
That's what you love to see from Oklahoma, the response. Texas, they came out hot. Hit a home run, had runners on first and second stranded. But Oklahoma, they're just going to be consistent. They're like the hunters that never stop chasing after you. They're going to keep producing runs no matter how it is. And that's where you wish, okay, I wish I could get that one back. I wish I could get that catch out. But Texas, one thing that they need to do this game, they don't have time for wishes and missed opportunities. They need to make the most of every single play here.
What I really like about this too, Chad, is the fact that Tiarai wasn't swinging out of the shoes. That's a fundamental swing. She knew she just needed to knock something through the infield, and she got the job done. That's a veteran. That's high IQ hitting right there.
She is a veteran of many battles, though she's only been 2+ seasons in a Sooner uniform. They have been national championship years. Haley Lee with a big whack at the opening pitch from Czech.
That was a hack.
Kind of the opposite of a veteran. Haley Lee is a fantastic hitter. Has a great eye, has a great swing. But this is the first time she's felt this environment this big. A big rivalry. I mean, she went to A&M before this, so it's kind of in her blood not to like UT. She has to be amped up right now.
Big swing there. Czech induces the swing and the miss. The Texas A&M transfer played in the Norman Regional, in fact, so familiar with Oklahoma, obviously. And she's been a nice addition. They've plugged her in multiple times as the DH. Lee third on this Oklahoma team with a .427 average, and she's hit 6 home runs. You see Estelle Czech. Like Patty Gasso, Mike White has a plethora of arms from which to choose. Sophia Simpson and Gutierrez, but Czech gets the nod tonight.
I will tell you right now, the changeup you saw the swing and miss on, when you see the off speed on for Czechs, that's when she's at her best. She'll cut through the plate, she's got a curveball, but when the off speed is hot, she's hot.
This is the game to have it working.
Yeah.
I think Oklahoma has shown that whenever they're put more at bay, it's because a pitcher has a really good off speed and she channels that with their harder pitches. So if Texas can kind of work that difference in speed, work the difference of height and location, Czech does a great job with that. So that would be a great idea for Mike White. Okay, let's start her off. She has a great off speed. She has lots of movement across. We just need it to be on. We need to be spotting those pitches. But Oklahoma, they've shown that that's something that they're susceptible to kind of falling into that trap.
Longhorns with a staff ERA of 1.89. This is drilled right at the left fielder Dayton for the first out of the inning.
I like this call from Mike White. I like giving Czechs the ball here. I think all season long what we've seen from Estelle is that at times she's struggled in adversity. She's struggled with pressure. She's struggled when the game is on the line. And right now, you're giving one of your best arms, if not your best arm, a huge stage with a packed house against the #1 team in the nation. Handle it.
She's transferred from North Carolina State, spent 2021 there, and then was a Longhorn a season ago, pitched right in the middle of the battle between these teams in the Women's College World Series final. You see 4 2/3 innings in game 2. Oklahoma taking both games, winning 16-1 and then 10-5.
I mean, you said handle it. You could see the intensity on her face.
Oh, yeah.
I love that in a pitcher. If you're her defense and she turns around and she has that look on her face, fires you up.
Kinsey Hansen, the Sooner catcher, chops this one foul. Had a little early season surgery. They worked her back slowly into the lineup. Had a multi-home run game against Kentucky that really made you feel like she was back on track.
Was it gallbladder or appendix? I can't remember.
I believe it was appendix.
I think you're right. I think you're right. She was back in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And as you mentioned, went yard. Yeah, just a stud. Such a stud. Gritty. She loves the sport of softball. I mean, gamer.
Total
gamer.
I want to talk about game face.
Yeah.
These two right here, this matchup, I don't know who has the better one.
Yeah, you can feel the intensity between these two, Hansen and Chex. Kinzie Hansen was right in the middle of this championship series last year. Had a 3-run home run in game 2 here in this stadium that helped lift the Sooners to that second straight title. Hard hit ground ball, nice play diving by Martinez, but she will have no play. It'll be an infield base hit as we look at the Texas defense. Solid, youthful. We see Martinez make that diving play, but we've seen an error out there in the outfield here in the opening inning that's led to an Oklahoma run. So it is Jennings with the RBI single at second. Kinzie Hansen is at first. And Grace Lyons, the 2-time All-American shortstop, in for Oklahoma. 2 home runs, batted .625 against Iowa State this past weekend.
Casual.
It really is.
Just casual. Another day in the office.
You know, how do you account for the explosion in home runs by her last year, Nicole? She went from 14 the prior year to 23 last year.
That was one thing. She's been excellent at defense always. Probably came out of the womb fielding a ball. I don't know.
Smokes this one out into left field. That lands in front of Dayton. Runners will move up and the bases are loaded.
But she's somebody who challenges herself, and she said, I don't want to be just a defensive player. I want to be a full player. I want to be that athlete. And so she challenged herself in the offseason. She talked a lot with JT, got in a lot of extra work, and that's what you see the result of. I think the biggest thing for her, you could see on that swing, that backhand, from her first couple years to last year, that backhand is able to extend it through the zone, through her swing a lot longer, and that's, I think, has been all the difference for her, not rolling over quite as early, not getting as many pop-ups, and that's why she's been so consistent. I mean, if you have great extension, you're probably going to hit the ball a lot harder, a lot farther too.
See the Sooners out, igniting this capacity crowd. Get the official attendance mark. I'm not sure we're even allowed to give it until it becomes official.
You see former captain Lindsey Elam kind of leading the charge.
You saw Mike White go out and have a word with his defense and Estelle in the circle. But Nicole, this is some of those adversity moments that Coach White wants to see Estelle step up in. She's been tested all year. This is the biggest stage against the best opponent in the nation right now, the #1 team in the nation. How can you handle this? A bases loaded, 1-out situation, and one of the hottest bats in this lineup, the freshman, Jocelyn Erickson, has been lights out all season long.
Something about this freshman class.
What is this conversation with Patty Gasso?
Not sure. I was trying to read some lips there.
As was I, unsuccessfully. But she came out and had just a brief word with Chad Steers, the plate umpire. And a big opportunity for the freshman, Jocelyn Erickson. Has been plugged in, and you don't say that she replaces Jocelyn Alo. Nobody, I don't think, will ever do that. Softball's all-time home run queen, but they brushed her right into the thick of things in the cleanup spot immediately, and she produced right away.
She's batting .419 with 6 bombs as a freshman.
It's a little bit like Jocelyn Alo and Lauren Chamberlain.
Just a little. Just a little.
A number of other former Sooner freshmen.
A couple things stand out to me about her. One, how calm she is. I remember at Mary Nutter, she had a huge bomb, and she's jogging around the bases, just kind of like, yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do.
One away, and the base is loaded.
Wow. Yeah, I'm salivating if I'm Jocelyn Erickson. I'm a hitter's count, a 2-1 count, bases juiced. I mean, I got goosebumps just talking about it. You live for this moment on this stage.
And just look at the breath that she just took. It was just very calm, very even. This is a huge moment, bases loaded. You know, normally you'll see a big breath. Not that from her.
2 balls, 2 strikes now to Erickson.
But check check, she's coming right back at her. Freshman or not, 6 bombs or not, bases loaded or not, I'm going to compete pitch by pitch, and that's what you talked about, Aaron. What you've seen from her.
She induces a big strikeout, gets one herself as she fans the freshman Erickson for the second out.
That was huge. I mean, shutting down a bases loaded, less than 2 outs moment for Oklahoma's offense. Best offense in the nation. That is how you send a message. That is how Estelle Czech sends a message that I can handle this moment.
And that was a great pitch. Erickson trying to stay in her legs, but that ball is not just tailing up, but also away. Good sight. Erickson lose her balance a little bit at the end. Great use of her movement, great use of her control. Love to see them start to settle in.
Here's the former Oregon Duck, Alyssa Brito. Alyssa has just had a penchant for producing for this team in the big moments. Brito was recruited by Mike White when Mike White was the head coach at Oregon. She said, got great respect for him, the way that his teams play the game. But Alyssa Brito is just a player that loves moments like this. She is that player that sings on the bus, that player that makes noises, cartoon sounds. Patty Gassel will turn around and go, who was that? And inevitably, it's her.
And she's probably not surprised.
She's swaggy, she's got energy, she's got personality, she's not scared to bring that on the field.
So she played like you, Aaron.
Well, you said it, not me.
Keep space, get dirty here.
If Estelle Czech could get out of this, giving up just 1 run with an error committed to start this game, huge leg up for her.
Oklahoma doesn't leave runners on the base too often. If that is all the damage that is done, Texas is in this game and they're fighting.
Tiara Jennings has an RBI single in the inning. Brito sends one to very shallow right, and indeed Czech does get out as the pop-up is caught by Leanne Good. But
Offense when they hear OU, but I know, and Mindy knows, having played for Gasso, no. Defense is her baby. And when I look at numbers, Chad, coming into today, Texas 965. And Oklahoma a 991 defensive outing. It's to me, it's what wins championships. Defense is what will give you the hardware.
Pretty sure I heard that echoing in my ear for 4 years. About 7 now at this point, yeah.
Nicole, how about you and your key?
I would say just effective pitching. We can see Jordy Ball's pitch count in the 2nd inning already after this pitch is going to be at 35.
This hit to third for Brito, and she takes care of Reese Atwood to start the 2nd inning.
And then Czech, she's right up there. I don't know if she broke 30, but she's super close. That's a lot of pitches for 1 inning of work. Jordy got 2 free bases on. Czech, she got bases loaded. You just want to minimize those. So by having effective pitches, make the hitters work, make your defense work. Credit to Aaron. Defense is going to win championships, and defense can't do anything if your pitcher is throwing balls all over the place and then serves one up.
Ashton Maloney. And take a look at this freshman class, and you would consider Maloney, she's a redshirt freshman, injured last year. It was an injury from her high school days as she went to Austin, but sat out. So we'll call her a freshman, even though she has been at the college level for a year.
A little more dynamic of a bat at the plate. You saw her run through the left side of that box. She's a triple threat. She can drop the short game. She can hit gap to gap. Really has it all.
I feel like you don't see as many hitters go through with the slap, go through with the swings, and really utilize both. So that's always nice whenever you see that from a hitter, because again, defense are kind of, are we going to be here? Are we going to be there? Even if they're great, that's what you want to see. Look at this stripe out.
What a beauty.
Soak it in.
What a beauty.
And they allowed us to get a little footage. There have been some pretty tenacious wildfires in the Oklahoma City area, so I want to say best wishes to those who are dealing with that, and to all of the firefighters battling them. In fact, just a couple of miles north of the USA Softball Hall of Fame complex, there was a big one going this afternoon. So we wish everybody the best with that. One out walk to Maloney. You see Mike White. This freshman class, basically, Aaron, it's 40% plus of the offense. You talk about home runs, runs driven in, and hits has been provided by these freshmen as Bella Dayton, the junior, stands in.
15 bombs through the 4 of them in this starting order. On that drone shot, the first thought that popped in my head was, I've never been to heaven, but I have been to Oklahoma.
You're too young to know Three Dog Night songs.
That's the first thing that came to mind. What a heavenly sight that was.
And well orchestrated with the striping as well. Down and away. So Jordy Ball has issued a pair of walks and hit a batter, giving up the home run, trying to settle into this game, though. Bella Dayton from Wiley, Texas, transfer from Arizona, kind of in the Arizona outfield rotation for a couple of years before coming to Texas, and then last year was on the Women's College World Series All-Tournament team right here, hit .350 in the Longhorn games in Oklahoma City.
While there is newbies, there's a lot of veteranship, and I think that has been a big part of Texas's story this season. While each season is a vacuum and it is its own story and journey, they're taking last year and the experience and the understanding of the journey in this stage, and they're using it. That is part of this season and this team.
Two and two to Dayton. Top of the order, Good, who homered to start the game, is lurking over in the on-deck circle for the Longhorns. Do you think these coaches, Nicole, come in with a specific pitching plan, or they just kind of evaluate the way that this unfolds? Because they have very deep pitching staffs, could go a lot of different directions.
Absolutely. I think it's more so I feel like there's 2 different types of pitching coaches. I feel like there's pitching coaches who really try and focus on their pitcher strengths and they pitch to their pitcher strengths, or they try and pitch to hitters' weaknesses, their opponent's weakness. And I think the best ones, they kind of marry those two. They'll still lean one way or another, but it's not all one way, it's not all the other.
Fly ball. This is going to send Boone back to the warning track, where she pulls it in up against the fence in straightaway left field.
Oh, wow. My gosh. I don't know if everybody is feeling the same way that I am on that catch and then on that throw. That was fantastic by Riley Boone. There's no warning track, and she just full out extends, and then watch this throw. The throw holds up the runner getting to second by a mile. There's no way that she can get to second. Riley Boone, fantastic job. I mean, you've made plays like that. You know what is going through her mind?
Not me over here thinking, turn and just run. Get behind that ball. That about gave me a heart attack, but an incredible catch. I think she probably could have turned and gotten behind that, made that a little bit easier on herself.
How does it impact you, though, both of you having been out there without a warning track?
It's tough. It's tough. Now, and I can tell you, Chad, I can remember playing on this field and going out and literally surveying the grounds. Okay, I'm going to stand in my position. If I'm dead sprint to the wall, how many steps? I'm going to know exactly where I stand and how many steps I have to the foul wall, to the fence, to the dirt. I've got to take inventory on the ground I'm going to play on, because it can make or break a ball game, literally.
It can. And we've seen Jada Coleman do that in this stadium with plays. So you see Jen Rocha out to visit with Jordy Ball and the infield. Good homered to start this game for the Longhorns. Maloney with a walk is down at first base. What a year Leanne Good is having. 53 hits to lead all freshmen. Her mom, Shannon, played softball in the Lone Star State at UTSA. That's paint on the outside corner from Jordy Ball.
You can see the adjustment that this battery is making from the first at-bat. Was up in the zone often. Now we're going low in the zone. We're attacking low and away. Wouldn't surprise me if she tries to expand just high out of the zone and then going back with that low pitch.
Little bit more off the end of the bat. Wind has it, as does Riley Boone again up against the fence. Two spectacular plays avoiding a big collision with the chain link fence. There in this field, a northeast wind. It's rare. What's its impact?
I think it's died down a little because I was white knuckling the steering wheel the whole way to Norman. It's tough. It is historically always windy at this field. It is always windy in Oklahoma City. It's something that you just have to get used to. It can affect the ball. I mean, that's a real thing. It's a real thing.
That is a real thing.
Aleem Torres, the Glendale, Arizona senior, transfer from Arizona State in for the Sooners. All Pac-12 at shortstop. Arizona State went to a super regional a year ago. She comes along with Sydney Sanders from Arizona State into this Oklahoma program this year. 8, 9, and 1 of the Oklahoma lineup to face Estelle Check.
There's the off speed again for the strike. I think we're going to see more of that, if I'm being honest, as this game continues to go on. That pitch has to get better for Checks. That's the only way you're going to keep this offense semi-quiet at the plate, is if you can keep them off balance and pull the string.
Little too tall. Texas 35-1 tie this year against Kentucky. They tied 4-all. But ranked wins over 23rd ranked Missouri, 11th ranked Virginia Tech, a couple over 24th ranked Louisville, and they split 2 games with Alabama. Oklahoma with 10 ranked wins. That's a little pop-up, tough spot. The underhanded flip is not in time. Simmons kind of had that struggle coming out of her hand as she flipped it to Leanne Good.
I would be shocked if there's not an argument here to get this relooked. It looked like an out just to the naked eye, but clearly a foot race to the bag between Good and Torres. Right off the handle.
This, you can see where Good is. She has to race all the way over there. You can see her stretch.
That looks like an out.
I think that was an out, but that was impressive on her. She was up the middle by second. As soon as she saw that, she was racing over.
Really surprised there's not a review.
Agreed.
On that, as it's bunted foul by Riley Boone. Maybe we could take one more look. Maybe the foot was up off the base and was obvious to everyone that's right there on hand.
Well, to your point, Chad, surprised that the replay or an argument here isn't in place. I mean, tie ball game this early. I mean, you don't want to give up a leadoff right there against Oklahoma.
Has been scored as a base hit for Torres. Riley Boone, the number 9 batter. And bunts this one foul. Patty Gasso has talked this year, Nicole, about evolution of players in softball and asked, when did you see these players that could not just slap, but slap and hit the ball out of the ballpark? And she said, I first started seeing it about 2010, and now you have these players like Coleman and Jennings, and Riley Boone even can do that.
Yeah, I think the evolution of
you were that way,
just a player. Yeah, I mean, it makes it fun. I always love to mess around and tease the defense, and then all of a sudden, okay, I'm going to swing it. Okay, I'm going to slap it here. Okay, I'm going to mix things up. I just think the way softball has grown, not only on the national stage with this game being broadcast on ESPN+, but also just the knowledge and the sharing and the information that's available, you understand as a hitter a little bit more, okay, this is a good time to do this or that. And it's not just, oh, I feel it, which the best athletes, they have that feeling, that intuition, but now I know why I'm feeling it, and now I have reasons to back it up.
I know this just firsthand. One thing that makes Coach Gasso extraordinary is that she empowers her athletes to make those decisions in the middle of an at-bat. If you feel it, do it. Do it. Go for it. And that's what you want. You want to see that your athletes have a sixth sense for the game, right? That you feel that gut intuition is there for a reason. We call it the softball gods, right?
Yeah.
They're talking to you. You got to listen.
Do they always advise you correctly?
Yes, and I just don't always execute.
Boone slashes this one past the shortstop Martinez. And here comes the Oklahoma offense again. Runners at first and second and nobody out.
Riley Boone, so impressive, had a great catch earlier. This time, you talked about how the hitters, the experienced ones, they're not over swinging. It's just simple hitting this ball where it's pitched. This ball was hit hard any softer, and I think Martinez would have been able to get a glove on it, but the exit velo was probably too high for her to react in time. But again, you have the error. Now you have a runner in scoring position. That's the golden bag, as Oklahoma calls it. You never want to leave somebody there. Last inning, they left 3 runners on base. I doubt that they're going to do the same thing again.
5 hits for the Sooners as Jada Coleman shows bunt. She reached on an error on a drop fly ball. What was that look about from Jada Coleman?
I don't know that that was a foul ball.
I think the umpire didn't call it a foul ball, and Jada Coleman thought it was. And she goes, okay, I mean, my runner's advanced, I'll take it. You can see Texas, they're dug out.
Here we go.
Yeah, I think this is what the argument's going to be. I do not think this was a foul ball, which means that runner at second base, Torres, who tried to advance on the miscue behind the plate, the bobble of Atwood behind the plate, those runners would now be at second and third, which we see on the bug, right? So that's the argument right now, I believe, with Mike White is, was that foul tipped or not? If it is, runners need to go back 60 feet.
And you can see White, he's asking his player, hey, was it a tip? I agree. I don't think you didn't see the ball change direction. It was pretty steady right there.
Yeah, I don't see any deflect off the barrel. I think that was a true bobble from Atwood behind the plate.
You know, White's fired up, but he wants to make the right call. We didn't see the replay on the runner at first. If he had called it, hey, I want the replay, and then it's not a foul ball, he'd be out, you know, and
Torres wouldn't even be out there.
it, right? You
Yeah.
gotta juggle it.
So it's a pass ball charge to Atwood as the runners move up.
Wow, I'm not sure where that pitch missed.
I don't think Mike White knew either.
I think he is in complete agreement with you.
Yeah.
But an Oklahoma threat here with nobody out. Remember, the Sooners left the bases loaded in the first, getting only 1 run. In the air, you see Dayton started back, now comes in, and the fly ball will not be deep enough to score the runner, Alina Torres. And a big out there for Estelle Checks as she's able to get the dangerous Jada Coleman.
Check, she's doing a good job not working just that curveball in the back door, but she's adding in that rise ball. Change off speed is working effectively, but that's where she's getting those pop-ups. That's where she's getting those ground outs. Whenever Oklahoma stays within themselves, they do well, but it's even the most disciplined hitter with that kind of pitching, it's hard to stay in it all the time.
Tiare Jennings hits a blast to left center field and way out of here, gone. That one nearly cleared the back wall at Hall of Fame Stadium, and Tiare Jennings has driven in all the runs tonight for the Sooners. They take advantage here in the second inning. It's 4-1 Oklahoma.
1 pitch, 1 swing. Wouldn't expect anything less from Tiare Jennings, as clutch as it gets. This gal just takes care of business. She trusts her stuff. It's the hands. That's the thing that's always impressed me about Tiare, is the fast reaction, just the quickest, lightning fast hands I've ever seen. I loved the smile, a lot of joy in the way that she plays the game. She's one of those like once in a lifetime players.
She's so consistent, but not in an average kind of way, just in an excellent up there kind of way. I mean, she just one-hopped a men's slow pitch field. Tiare Jennings has been there. She has been in those situations, and I was mentioning just before that pitch, whenever you're in control of your body in those pitches, you know which ones you want to hit, and Kaylee Lee.
Wow, this one is headed toward that fence that the men's slow pitch team uses as well. Back-to-back blasts for Jennings and Lee, and Oklahoma leads 5-1 in the second.
When it rains, it pours. We've seen this from Oklahoma all year long. Momentum is the name of their game. When they get hot, they get very hot. They pass the bat, and it is infectious.
That home run presented by OERB. Back-to-back at bats for Tiare Jennings. This team capable of it. They had a 5-home run inning against a 16th ranked Kentucky team earlier this season in Norman. So Tiare Jennings now has driven in 4 runs. That may do it for.
She's had 41 innings, so she's gotten a lot of experience. And similar to Estelle Checks, it comes down to the off speed, because she can hit all quadrants. She throws pretty much the whole arsenal of pitches, but what's going to differentiate her, especially against Oklahoma, is if she can throw the changeup in any count.
No breaks in this Oklahoma lineup. Here's the cleanup batter, Kenzie Hansen. That's who you get to face coming in out of the bullpen. The veteran Kenzie Hansen, who had a base hit her first time. Casey Simpson, just a sophomore as a freshman. She got thrust right into the middle of this rivalry on softball's biggest stage in the Women's College World Series. Pitched an inning and 2/3 in the 2 games.
We've mostly seen Simpson in a closer role. At max, she's gone about 4 innings at a time, but she's really came in to slam the door shut. This is a little bit different situation for her. Bottom of the 2nd inning, she's coming into a little bit of a gauntlet. Estelle had the back against the wall. So this is an interesting challenge for Simpson.
She was on the Big 12 all-freshman team last year, 8-4. Pop up. That'll be taken care of by Martinez, the shortstop, for the 2nd out in the 2nd inning.
If I'm Mike White, I'm thinking about, okay, I don't want this game to get too far out of hand. I want to put in some good pitchers, but I still have to face him 2 more times. This makes sense to me. I want to see her compete. I want to see her battle. Whenever she has her changeup on, she can go to the distance. But until then, I don't want to put in somebody who is my Saturday starter, my Sunday starter. I want to make sure that we're in this for the long haul. We're in this for the weekend.
Here's Grace Lyons. She had a base hit her first time up. And that ricochets past Reese Atwood. Grace Lyons had a media session yesterday, and she was quoting Serena Williams, talking about, when I play, I get everybody's best every time. And feeling that when you're an Oklahoma Sooner on these big stages.
That was good.
That's the off speed. If she can pull that, if she can spot that in any count, she's going to have success.
I mean, her body doesn't slow down.
No.
Everything's still going through. As a hitter, that's a lot of times there will be tells that a pitcher has, whether it's a grip on the backswing or something that she does mid-pitch. It's a lot harder to tell out of the hand.
Lyons sends this one out toward left center field, bobbled by Dayton. Lyons is going to take at least 2nd base. So that'll be another Sooner hit and another Longhorn error.
That is something, as an outfielder, is a #1 rule. Do not let the ball get to the fence. I don't care if you have to block it in a catcher stance. Grace Lyons rips this ball. As an outfielder, you know it's going to get there fast. You want to get down on it. That's not something that you want to field as you're running across your body in an infielder stance. You want to get your body down. You want to get a knee down, something like that. put a little bit more defense in between you and the ball.
8 Sooner hits, 2 of them by Grace Lyons. Tiara Jennings has 2 hits, including a 3-run home run. Jennings has driven in 4 of the 5 Oklahoma tallies tonight. And Erickson, who struck out her first time up, that was against Czech.
Not to mention Dayton in left field is a lefty, so she's having to reach across her body to try and field that ball. And if I'm Grace Lyons, I'm taking note of that now. If there's a ball hit to left field, she's got to cross her body in order to field that in the gap and then make a throw. I'm going to be a little more aggressive.
Erickson sends this one foul into the right field corner, and Maloney could not quite get there. These teams will play Saturday and Sunday games at sold-out Marita Hines Field in Norman. Oklahoma building the beautiful Loves Field just down the street from Marita Hines on the northwest corner of Jenkins and Inhofe. $42 million raised. We've got 8,800 fans here tonight. And what's great about it for Sooner fans is you can't get a ticket to a regular season game at Marita Hines Field, but you can see this one if you were lucky enough to get a ticket.
Maybe.
Says so much about the sport of softball. Both of these coaches talking about that. Patty Gasso said not just this rivalry, but she said, I never dreamed when I took over at Oklahoma that I'd see 9,000 fans for a softball game. It's remarkable. You know, the UCLA game between Oklahoma and UCLA, they had 4,000 or 5,000 fans kind of on a rec field out there in California.
They should have no business having that many people in
Don't call
that
the
field.
fire marshal.
There's not enough room.
Start to see Erickson out on that front foot. Saw that in her first at bat back in the first inning. She struck out. Looks like the timing is a little disrupted. She's kind of playing the guessing game a bit at the plate. Starting to see some of that freshman mentality bleed through a bit. She's better than that. We've seen her perform all season long.
One thing that Texas did really well against her, I mean, you got to scout, you got to look. They're saying she can hit the inside pitch. There is zero doubt about that. We're going to try and make her chase, make her feel off balance with the outside. I mean, that's the only place that they can logically go. Inside, it's going to get hammered unless it's way, way in.
You saw the foul ball ripped down the line.
That one was in on the hands.
Right.
Erickson in the air, speared by the running Bella Dayton to end the inning. That it did. So 2, 3, and 4 in the Texas lineup scheduled here. Scott, Washington, and Day. Jordy Ball back out to the circle for the Sooners. You were both kind of contemplating how long might Jordy Ball go in this one tonight.
Yeah. Well, my response, Mindy asked me that question in the break. I said, well, I really think it's going to be determined on what the offense does here in the bottom of the second.
Well, they did something.
And they did something.
Mia Scott walked her first time.
I do think it's going to be limited, though. I mean, pitch 50, third inning. Oklahoma's leading 5-1, but I think she's going to have a shorter leash. I don't even want to call it a short leash, but just less time on the mound, I think, this game.
Well, if I'm Coach Rocha, I'm not really loving what I saw in the first 2 innings. And now you've got a 4-run lead. You got a little bit more room to be confident and take a little bit more risks with what you're throwing. And so I get it. I understand putting her back out there, even with the high pitch count. Nicole, if I'm Coach Rocha, I want to see an adjustment. I want to see something different.
Strike 2. Mia Scott. Mia Scott last year hit a 3-run home run in Game 2 of the Women's College World Series between these teams. And also, she had a 2-run double against Oklahoma in Austin. Longhorns won that game April the 16th. Oklahoma had won 40 straight going back to the previous year and 38 in a row to start last season. That was a big moment. Mike White has even talked about it. Celebration. It was a big deal for them to beat Oklahoma in that game in Austin last year. Second time tonight that Mia Scott has drawn a free pass.
That's the third walk and the fourth free base that Jordy Ball has given up.
Her numbers, again, the pitching efficiency, they've kind of been out of control, just been nibbling, not getting that firm, pound the zone, throw the strikes, move through the zone that you normally see. And Texas, they've been doing a good job maintaining those pitches.
That goes off Ball's glove, fielded by Lyons. The Sooners cannot quite turn the double play as Washington beats the throw to first base. Scott gets cut down. And now the umpires are going to conference about this. Scott's going back to second.
We'll get a good look. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see
She's safe. You can see the call out there.
play.
One thing that I think they might argue, look where her foot slides though. She doesn't slide into the back. She doesn't attempt it at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though she's technically safe, I think what Tiara Jennings was arguing was, yeah, she's safe because she slid into me. She didn't even try to go for the bag.
That's a great point.
There was no reason to do that hook slide. So I think that's what the argument is talking about.
Here's calling together head coaches Patty Gasso and Mike White.
I think it's kind of interesting. He brought both of them together. Normally they tell one, then they'll tell the other.
Or you just come and you get the out signal. Boom, we're done. And you can tell by Mike White's reaction that this is going to be overturned. It's a huge call in the grand scheme of things. You're going runners at first and second, nobody out, or runner at first and one away. So there is the out, and both base runners are going to be called out.
I didn't even think about this, but because of that interference at second, they're also arguing, okay, yes, she was out at second, but because my feet were almost taken out from underneath me, I couldn't even make that play at first.
So the interference call leaves both base runners out. We'll look one more time.
I think they got this right.
That's to nobody on, 2 outs. Jordy Ball finds herself in a good position here.
Huge call, huge overturn. And with the bases empty, Courtney Day looking to try to regenerate this Texas offense. Day struck out her first time.
In the spirit of showcasing both perspectives, if I'm Texas, I'm fired up.
Absolutely.
I am mad. I want to swing out of my shoes. There's a whole nother fire in my belly after that call.
What a challenge by Patty Gasso.
Wow.
I mean, not that any coach wouldn't do that, but the effectiveness of it and the change in situation, and now it's an 0-2 count.
How about her quickly exiting that meeting? She got her call
heard
and she
what
said,
she needed.
okay, back to the dugout, back to business, regular programming.
I think, to your point of Texas, they feeling that kind of gut, that fire. It's important not to get overwhelmed by that emotion and be so angry. So come on, we got to score now. We have to. Whenever you start to use that language, especially in the third inning, it can be a little dangerous. Use it, but be really, really focused.
Popped up, foul, and just off the glove of Kenzie Hansen. The at-bat stays going for Courtney Day.
That may have been communication there, because I think
it was.
That's a play that Kenzie Hansen can make.
We saw her make it.
Exactly. We've seen her make it time and time again. I think that was maybe an Erickson-Hansen miscommunication.
But how often have we really seen Erickson? We've seen her in the lineup, and we've seen her at first a few times, but how often have we seen her start there day to day?
Hit in the air into very shallow left, and Grace Lyons takes care of it at Marita Hines Field in Norman, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary, by the way. Alyssa Brito leads things off. Sophia Simpson back out to the circle for the Longhorns. Texas has to find a way to pick itself back up, do they not, Aaron?
They do. And there's so much game left. That's the thing. Texas has had a really good offense this year. They know how to produce dynamic at-bats. They can do a lot of things at the plate. They can score in a lot of different ways, so don't count them out.
Brito popped up to the second baseman, Leanne Good, her first time.
It's not rocket science. If they want to stay in this game, Simpson's going to have to quiet down this offense. She's going to have to limit runs, buy her offense time to chip away at this deficit.
One and two.
One thing that we saw prior to them running out on the field was Texas in the huddle talking for a long time, just trying to refocus, regroup. I mean, Aaron said it best last inning, that's got to get you fired up. And if you want any chance of being back in this game, you got to reload, refocus. So whenever they run out, I think defense, they got to have their pitchers back a little bit more. They got to make those plays.
Strike three called. A big strikeout for Simpson to begin the bottom of the third.
But Simpson says, all right, I'll start it off. I got you. I'll start off with the strikes out. You guys do what you guys do, and I'll do what I'll do.
It's a really good pitch.
That was.
Right at the kneecap, just barely clips the outer. Brito not liking that call. But a great pitch by Simpson. What a statement, too, right? You hated how that top of the third went for your offense. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to get you a K. I'm going to send a message.
This one is chopped by Alina Torres. Quickly 2 gone. And a bounce back, as you said. Simpson has to shut down this Oklahoma offense immediately and get her Longhorns back to the plate. So far, so good for her.
That's the response you want to see.
Simpson now has retired 4 of the 5 Sooners that she has faced. She'll go to work against Riley Boone, who singled her first time.
I think Texas has an advantage that a lot of teams don't normally have against Oklahoma. They face him every year 3 times at least. Last year they faced him, what was it, 6, 7 times?
6 times they played.
So while there are some new players in the lineup, while there's new mixes, I mean, Jordy Ball, they saw her last year. A lot of the lineup they saw last year. And so there's that familiarity. Okay, we know what Oklahoma can do. We just have to execute the plan.
Well, at this point in the year, I always refer to it as Chapter 2. I know you probably do as well, coming from the same alma mater, but when you enter Chapter 2 of the season and you're facing the same squad 3 times, it is a completely different preparation. I had to bring 3 different looks. I've got to adjust 3 separate times in back-to-back-to-back days. That's tough to do. I don't care who you are. That is hard to do. You've got to watch film. You've got to scout. You've got to have game plans. I mean, it takes hours to prepare for a 3-game conference series.
That's just with the team. That's not even on your own.
Boone takes this one inside. Riley Boone was on the Women's College World Series All-Tournament team last season. Senior from Owasso, Oklahoma. Hit .500 in the Women's College World Series. The Sooners running to their 2nd straight championship. And there's ball 4. A 2-out walk to Boone. Rolls the lineup back to the top for Jada Coleman.
Coleman's due. I know her. I know how her brain works. She's one that cannot stand to not find a way on base. I know it's killing her and just itching at her that she is currently 0 for 1. She got on base back in the 1st because of an error, booted a ball in center field, and right now she's one to earn her way on. She's a competitor, man.
Hard hit ground ball But Martinez steps on second base for the forced play. But 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, and she has hit a batter. What do you think so far tonight, Nicole, of Jordy Bahl?
I think she's struggled, but her offense has carried her through. She's doing just good enough to be able to stay in the game, but I think Jen Rocha wants to see her pound the zone more. She wants to see her be efficient on both planes, not just on that rise ball, not just on that drop ball, but to be able to execute her pitches without having those wild pitches that Kinzie Hansen's having to reach multiple times in at bat. Glove extend. I mean, she's a tall girl, so if she's having to get full extension, those balls are pretty far off. She just wants to see her stay within that zone, stay within her body.
You know what I know for sure? No one is harder on themselves than Jordy Bahl. So I know that any constructive criticism that could come from Coach Rocha, Jordy's already told herself. I just know that for a fact.
Down and in to Katie Simmons, who walked her first time. You see Oklahoma, 4 pitchers with a sub-2 ERA. In fact, 1.66 is the highest team ERA of 1.0. And May and Storako, look at Nicole Mays. I mean, she went, I think it was about 17 games this year without allowing an earned run.
Yeah, and I think of how we talked about Oklahoma and their experience and that veteran mentality. This is home. This is where I belong. You can see her getting out in the bullpen right now with Storako just kind of getting their arms loose. But as she's gone on, she's gotten better and better and better. She's had to face adversity, and she's been better for it. Same thing with Jordy. She had a phenomenal freshman year, got hurt towards the end of it, but she's going to get better for it.
Erickson catches that pop-up off the bat of Simmons. Yeah, last season, Jordy Bahl had a breakout freshman campaign, but she was battling injury headed through the postseason.
Yeah.
The rest of the pitchers on the staff picked her up. She came back in that Women's College World Series final series and even able to get in there against Texas in those final 2 games. Viviana Martinez grounded out to Tiare Jennings, the second baseman, her first time up.
When I think of Nicole May, I think about that first time she took the circle in the Women's College World Series. And she, in that moment, turned from a young girl into a woman that knew what she wanted, that she could handle it. And since that moment, and that really has been an earmarked moment for me when it comes to Nicole May, she's an entirely different athlete in the circle. That's the power of experience.
0-2 to Martinez. Viviana Martinez leading Texas with 34 runs driven in. Part of that freshman class with Good and Scott. And there's a swinging strike 3 for the second out. Jordy Bahl's 3rd strikeout.
Based on that reaction, you can tell that Jordy wanted to taste that victory. She wanted the strikeout, the fist pump, the little hop at the end of the extension on that forearm.
That's when you know she's in a groove,
Yeah,
whenever she has that
100%.
little hop.
Yep.
And I love to see that movement in that break. I mean, that's starting right above the kneecap, ending right above the ankle. That's a great pitch, moving through the zone, 2 strikes. That's what you want to see.
You cannot help but think back to the play at second base in Texas's previous at-bat. The slide by Alyssa Washington, both runners called out. Texas would have had first and second, nobody out. Jordy Bahl was able to get a pop-up off the bat of Courtney Day to finish the inning. And now here she is, having retired 5 straight when you go back to that. She's got a little bit of wind in the sails. And her Sooners have a 5-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. In Oklahoma City, USA Softball Hall of Fame complex, the home of softball. Here's Tiare Jennings. She's driven in 4 of the 5 runs. She knocked home Jada Coleman after Jada reached on an error in the first, and then hit that 3-run home run her last plate appearance.
Nicole, you spoke in the break just about the adjustments you've seen from Simpson. What have you liked?
I like how she's not fazed by the runs that Oklahoma had, not fazed by, she comes in, Kenzie Hansen's up, not fazed by Tiare Jennings for the 5 runs that have come from her. She flips in a changeup right there. I like her mentality and how she's attacking. I think she's coming at the hitters in a way that Oklahoma, they weren't expecting her to quite approach them in that way. And they're having to, okay, where's she throwing? I have to readjust, I have to recoup. That was a good pitch. I think what Mike White does best is he has really, really good pitchers. And if he can teach them in game, on mound, to feel things, we talked about Patty Gasso, her players, they have that sixth sense. If his pitchers can have that sixth sense, know that Oklahoma's feeling certain ways, wanting to go this way, do the opposite. I think that's the biggest thing that caused her to get that 1-2-3 inning last time.
She has retired 5 of the 7 Sooner hitters that she has seen. And she came in after Jennings and Lee had hit those back-to-back home runs. This Oklahoma offense was charged, and she unplugged them for the time being. Hard hit to third, and Washington retires Tiare Jennings for the first time tonight. That is 6 out of 8 sat down by Sophia Simpson.
To me, the difference is I haven't seen Simpson pitch scared yet. Whereas we saw Estelle Check miss wide because it looked like she was a little scared to miss wide.
She wants to place it.
Exactly. So when you throw scared to miss, you're gonna miss. And I just don't feel like Simpson is in that place. She's a little bit more convicted in her pitch.
Like you said, she's got nothing to lose. Doesn't normally come into that situation. She's like, all right, I'm just gonna go out.
Here we go.
I'm gonna throw my pitches. Maybe it's not a closing role that I'm used to. Normally she comes in around the 4th, 5th, 6th inning. All right, I'll come in. I'll do what I always do though, and I'll throw my pitches. I'll try to pound the zone. I'm gonna throw with conviction. And she's getting on those corners, getting in on the hands of those righties, but it's not in. It's not all out. She's giving a good mix.
I'm still waiting for more change-ups. It's proven to be effective. I'm surprised we're not seeing that being called more. More than once in at bat, I guess, to be more specific.
Lee gets under this one, sending it foul, and just out of reach for Washington.
I feel like White's probably thinking, all right, this is what she's doing. It's being effective. Let's stick with it until we see maybe a hard hit ball. Once we see that, then we can toss in more changeups, scatter that in, make it a little bit more unpredictable. But if it's working right now, why do we need to add it in? Why do we need to show that look? Maybe she's going to come in game 3. We don't want to give everything away. We don't want to give it all our secrets. So, I mean, that could be a possibility.
Did she hold up?
Credit to that
We
off
will
speed.
never know.
No, we do. It was ball 2.
Credit to that off speed.
The
I thought she got her.
I did too. It looked like she bit on that.
Lee's hit the ball hard twice tonight. Back-to-back home runs. She was the second with Tiare Jennings, and she hit a rocket right at the left fielder Bella Dayton her first time. Got her swinging there, but it bounced past Atwood, rolls all the way back to the backstop. And Haley Lee will reach base on a swing and a miss, strike 3.
Atwood's been tested back there. I'll tell you, this has not been the cleanest day defensively for Texas. And to pick a team to not have a clean defense, this wouldn't be the team I would want defensive miscues against. That's tough back there to defend that pitch in the dirt, especially on a swing through.
Yeah, you can see Atwood trying to go for the dig. You see the swing, maybe a block in that situation. I mean, you know it's going to bounce regardless. You see the swing, you don't know where it's going to go.
Simpson pumps home a strike to Kinzie Hansen, who's 1 for 2. A base hit in the first and popped up to the shortstop Martinez, her second time up.
But again, Simpson, like, not missing a beat. All right, didn't get the strikeout. First pitch strike to Kinzie Hansen. I'm back in it.
She has done her job. Kinzie Hansen batting .393. 29 runs driven in. This one right to third. Washington goes to second for 1, and around the horn on the double play for the Longhorns for this series, but for all of softball, Aaron.
A lot of growth. This is what you love to see. And for Oklahoma, if you build it, they will come, and that they are doing.
Ashton Maloney hits this one foul past third. Jordy Ball back out there, but we have seen May and Storako getting ready in the bullpen. I think a pretty short leash here in this inning.
My gut is telling me they're going to keep Ball in potentially until the 7th.
Yeah, she looked a lot better last inning. Pitches a little bit more sharper. Lead still firmly in place. Oklahoma are trying to figure out some stuff offensively, but they already have those runs on the board. They want to keep her in.
Backhanded by Jennings, but no play at first base. That breaks a string of 5 straight retired by Jordy Ball as Maloney reaches to start the Longhorn 5th. And she's been on base twice after a walk in the second.
This is the 3rd time that the leadoff has reached base. Back in the 1st, leadoff bomb, the 3rd, leadoff walk, and now the 5th, a leadoff single.
I think if I was in that huddle before Texas went into the offense, my note is, okay, we've gotten the leadoff on, but it's just on those conversions when we're trying to get those runs in, whenever we're trying to advance our runners, that's when we fall into trouble. What can we do to get that runner from second to third? I think if they can get that little push, that little extra edge, they're going to be able to find ways to score. They're going to be able to find ways to get on the board. Because right now, you're in the 5th inning. This is getting close to those championship innings, if you will, innings 6 and 7. You got to find ways to get the ball rolling and moving.
2-0 to Dayton, who flied out to Riley Boone in left field. Boone made back-to-back catches in that second inning where she had to go up against the fence in left field. You can tell things have cooled off a little bit as the sun starts to set. Mike White has donned a jacket. Dayton hits a pop-up. And Kinzie Hansen, the basket-style catch.
That scared me a little.
Those always scare me. As an outfielder, those always scare me.
Second baseman, number 43, Leanne Good.
Back to the top of the order for Leanne Good, who homered to start the game and then sent Riley Boone all the way out to the fence in left field her next time up.
It's a good position for Texas to be in. This is their 3rd time starting through the lineup. Good has seen a lot of pitches. She's by far, I think, the best hitter on this Texas offense. This is where you want to be. You have a runner on. You have some chance to get something going. I think they're able to just grab some of that momentum. It's just been kind of stagnant. I think with Simpson, she's started to bring it back around with those quick innings, but it's kind of up for grabs right now.
Oh, 2 on Leanne Good. Sometimes the pitching can translate a little energy to the offense. And the way that we've seen Simpson so far tonight, you would expect that to happen at some point if she continues to hold this Oklahoma offense at bay.
I like what I see in Simpson if I'm Texas. And I want to fight for her. Ooh, that went off the ankle. Oh, I can just feel that radiating down my foot for her. Oh.
That was a foul ball off the ankle.
You did have a lot of those,
I did.
didn't you?
My freshman year, I had a foul ball off of my ankle joint before we went to our very first tournament, and it just flashbacks right there, just on that foot.
It's like maybe the toe.
Oh. You know it hurts whenever they fall down right away.
It's a little sniper.
Yeah.
Leanne Good able to smile and laugh about it with Chad Steers, the home plate umpire.
If I'm Jordy Ball, I'm going right back there.
Fouled out of play. Jordy Ball has taken on more of an offensive role this year, doing a lot more hitting. She is actually in the top 10 in batting average in the Big 12 Conference as a hitter. Seen her in the lineup multiple times.
I just think it speaks to who Jordy Ball is. Aaron talked about she's her toughest critic. She's also the toughest competitor. I mean, she loves to play the game. She loves to compete. She loves to be in the middle of the action.
This one lined to third, caught by Erickson, and she doubles off Maloney, who could not get back to the bag in time.
Down. I dance with the
Singing.
fans.
Pointing.
Just Aaron doing Aaron things.
Aaron doing Aaron things.
Is that
Aaron
a
loved
go-to
dances.
karaoke song for you as well?
Oh no. This was purely an OU softball moment for me, and that song will live in OU softball for me.
Grace Lyons, 2 for 2 tonight. What a return it has been after illness, coming back in the Iowa State series last week. She said, it's back to normal, I'd say. Yes, it is. Batted .625 in Ames. And 2 more hits here tonight to start the Texas series.
Simpson has come out hot the last 2 innings, but comes up to Lyons real quick. It's something that both Texas and Oklahoma pitchers have struggled with earlier in this game, and she was the exception. You want to see her go out, attack these hitters, get in and out of these innings.
Yeah, she's issued only 1 walk since coming on in relief of Czech.
Go, here we go.
Are you shocked she didn't have the green light right there?
No.
I'm just thinking about where this game is, and at that moment, like your super senior Grace Lyons with the 3-0 count. I don't know. Sometimes Coach Gasso can give you a little sneaky green light.
Oh, she'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I hate it swinging.
I know. Always got cold feet when I did get the green light with a 3-0 count. You're like, wait, do I really have
I think I
it?
swung a couple times on a 3-0, and I got the green light, and I was like, okay. And I got so excited I would just pop it up. And I was like, I'm never doing that again.
You saw Citlali Gutierrez warming in the Texas bullpen. Leadoff walk to Grace Lyons brings Jocelyn Erickson to the plate. 2 walks given now by Simpson. Czech did not issue 1. Erickson is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a line drive to left field.
I'm waiting to see Erickson dig into the backside. We've seen her leak out over the front foot. It's a habit I used to have. As a lefty, stand on that side of the box when you're getting thrown away. You want to leak to that ball, to that pitch. Waiting to see right there. You got to see that in the back of the stance. Dig into the backside of that lower half and hit the ball where it's thrown.
I mean, if I'm her, majority of my pitches tonight have been away.
Yeah.
Toe up on that line, too.
Yep. Challenge them.
If they go in, okay, maybe take 1. If not, if you get to 2 strikes, you're toed up and you get in, your hands are fast enough. Just anticipate that outside.
What is it like as a freshman as she's come in, got off to a white hot start, and then teams start to get a little book on you, a little scouting report, and you find yourself needing to adjust a little bit?
It can be a mind game. It can be a mind game, and that's why you see typically that quote unquote like sophomore slump. I hate that term, but because people have info on you, they know how to throw you into approach, so it's forcing you to make changes.
Bounce to first. Nice play by Simmons. The throw goes down to second base to get the force play. And then Erickson beats the wrap. It was close. Nearly another double play by the Longhorns, but they do get Lions.
Same thing, just early out front on that front side, trying to wave at that ball instead of seeing it deep, hitting it where it's thrown. Here's a good look. It's the right call. I don't think the foot down on the bag. Grace Lyons didn't have that foot down in the bag yet. Yeah.
I think if she had down that foot.
Patty Gasso huddling up. A little conversation before Alyssa Brito steps in. And Mike White is also out to visit with Simpson. She has been the most effective Texas pitcher. And the Sooners back out, revitalizing this record crowd of over 8,900.
And I mean, you can hear it, how loud the crowd is, how into it they are. They're pumped up. Oklahoma takes advantage of the fact that White called time to talk to his pitcher. All right, let's get the crowd up. Let's make her feel something.
Brito digs in against Simpson.
Pitch off the pitch.
Simpson's retired 9 of the 12 Sooner batters that she has faced so far.
And I don't think if you really were in the weeds of what's happening in this game that you would really feel that, right? If you're just kind of fair weather watching this game, you wouldn't necessarily know that, right, Chad? But she really has silenced this offense in a unique way, just quietly gone about her business.
She's given up 1 hit in 3 innings against the #1 offense in the country. That squirts away from Atwood, advancing Erickson into scoring position.
But you know who does know that? Oklahoma. They're aware that the last 2 innings, it's been quick in and quick out. Haven't gotten really anything. Nothing really squared up too strong. Not a lot of base runners. This is the inning for them where they say, okay, we have to make the adjustment. And I think you're going to see them change their approach to what they've been facing. And I think that timeout with White, that's him saying, all right, let's just adjust a little bit. We're starting to see some pitches start to elevate. And I think that's the adjustment, the anticipation. Okay, this inning, they're going to look low. Let's go high. Whenever they adjust high, let's go back low. I think that was him just talking her through that, walking her through that, because she doesn't have as much experience.
Brito whacks this one foul. It's the chess game going on right now between these two coaches, isn't it?
And both of them really, really smart coaches, very different coaching styles, but each in their own right, great coaches.
That's my favorite thing about being on this side of the sport, being an analyst. For the past 7 years, I have gotten to witness coaches be successful in different ways. There's a lot of ways you can win a title. There's a lot of ways that you can have an excellent program. There's no right way, there's no wrong way.
This one blocked by Reese Atwood. Alyssa Brito popped up to second her first time and then struck out in the 3rd inning.
There's teams that beat you with speed. There's teams that beat you with bombs. There's teams that just chip away, right? Fundamental offense. And there's teams that have flamethrowers, right? There's so many different ways to be successful.
Check swing that stays fair is picked up by Simpson. Brito retired. You do see Erickson scoop down to third, where she stands with 2 outs.
This pitch, it's low in the zone after going high, high, high. You can see Brito trying to hold up on this because she was looking for that high pitch. She's come to expect that, anticipate it because the pitch is earlier on. And now it's low in the zone. She can't hold up. That's the chess game. You have to be, as a pitcher, a step ahead because the Oklahoma offense, they don't take a whole game to adjust. They adjust inning to inning. They adjust one half of the lineup to the other. And Simpson, she's been ahead of this team every single step of the way since she stepped into the mound. And you can see her firing up her team.
You see that Quincy Lilio is going to pinch hit for the Sooners. Had a redshirt year of a season ago, did Lilio, very highly recruited out of Oceanside, California. And she's been a difference maker. The injury to Grace Lyons in Oklahoma moved some things around out there defensively. Tiare Jennings played shortstop, and Quincy Lilio got to see a good deal of playing time at second base.
She's battled a little bit of an injury this year as well. Was in a boot for a couple weeks trying to battle an ankle and shin injury, and finally knocking that boot off and getting an opportunity here.
She's batting for Alina Torres, who had a base hit. Lilio lifts this one foul. Washington will grab out number 3.
Baby,
I'm a big fan of the wave.
you're a waiver?
I'm a waiver. I'll woo too. I'll do it.
It's the last time you saw 9,000 fans execute the wave.
You're committed to the wave.
I'm
so
committed.
you are audibly involved.
I'm audible.
And
I'll stand.
physical,
I'll wave.
and the woo.
I'm not the starter though.
Okay.
I won't do that.
All right.
There's Quincy Lilio, who came on to pinch hit. Can we hear the audible side of the wave? They cannot see. There you go.
Yeah. I'm all about a fan atmosphere.
I'm not lukewarm.
No.
I'm not soft.
No.
I'm all in.
I'm all in. One thing about Nicole Mendez,
If you're going to jump into the wave, jump in head first.
I've been head first a time or two. Yeah.
See Mia Scott. 2 walks in this game for Scott. Center fielder batting second. Jordy Ball back out there to start this 6th inning.
Let's see if my prediction comes true. I think she's going to finish the 6th, and we're going to see a new arm in the 7th.
I think you're right. I
2-1.
wonder if anybody else, like if you're a viewer watching, do you guys ever play that game? I was talking to Aaron. I was like, I think this girl's going to be a starter. I think this is going to be the big hitter. I love playing that game and trying to predict. It's fun as a former college athlete, but it's fun.
I just like to see how well I know the game.
Right?
You know, it's like, okay,
Am I right?
how well do I really know these teams? Let's see. Were you spot on with both of your predictions?
I was.
I should have known.
The great part is nobody will fact check your predictions.
True. We could be lying for all you know, Chad McKee.
Swing and a miss on the 2-2. Jordy Ball gets the strikeout of Mia Scott to start the 6th inning.
It's the first leadoff K she's had all day.
You can just see the momentum in her. You can see her get fired up. Watch her reaction right here. She is pumped. She has that little foot stamp. That's what you want to see.
That is 4 strikeouts for Jordy Ball. She's issued 3 walks and hit a batter. And she goes to work against Alyssa Washington.
I think it's something as a player, whenever you play the game, you can tell whenever your pitcher is on because you can just feel it in the way they walk around the mounds. You know their tendencies. Jordy Ball, she has this, her arm swings a little bit harder. She stalks the mound a little bit more. She talks to her team, like her steps are firmer. It's just little things, but you can tell whenever a pitcher is feeling herself versus she might not be throwing bad, but she's just throwing. Jordy Bahl this inning, I mean, obviously she struck her out, but Jordy Bahl this inning, she has a little bit more dedication to her.
Washington pops this up out behind second base. Good communication between Jennings and Coleman. And it is the second baseman, Tiare Jennings, who makes the catch.
That's the first off speed that we have seen swung at and struck. So that's an adjustment. That's a new look that we've seen from Jordy that we haven't seen in 5 1/3 innings.
2 down. Courtney Day, the batter. She's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop up to short. Jordy Bahl's getting stronger. She's retired 9 of the last 10 that she has faced. And that goes back to the walk she issued to Scott. Very next hitter, Washington, hit the ground ball. Scott was called out and called for interference at second base. And Washington got called out as well. And things have changed for Jordy Bahl since then. Oh, and 2. Leanne Good led off the game with a solo home run for Texas. That's all that Jennifer Rocha has watched Jordy Bahl give up so far.
You can really hear the crowd start to clap, start to get into it here. Big time moment for Jordy.
Check swing and no swing on the appeal to Danny Bowman, the first base umpire.
The mask even came off.
I know. I think
She was that
sometimes
sure.
as pitchers, as a former pitcher, I feel like I can say this. Now being removed from that, sometimes you just get so caught up and you're like, yeah, and everyone else is like, yeah, like that wasn't it. But you, in the moment when you're pitching, you get caught up, but.
Swing and a miss. Ball strikes out 2 in the inning and works a 1-2-3 top of the 6th. It's Oklahoma 5, Texas 1, bottom of the 6th inning coming up from Oklahoma City. In the 6th inning, Oklahoma State is out of conference play. The number 2 team, they are facing Incarnate Word this week. Aaron, what do you think of the Big 12 race so far? 3-team race, Oklahoma, Texas, Oklahoma State so far?
I'm going to give you an interesting one. Of all the series that make me raise my eyebrows, I'm really looking forward to Oklahoma going to Baylor to potentially make a wrong right.
Riley Boone bunts her way aboard to start this 6th inning. Been on base 3 times has Riley Boone. Pumped up to start the 6th. Back to the top of the order in Jada Coleman.
It always happens at Baylor, huh?
Yeah, the storyline, Oklahoma won 22 straight. Start the year. They lose in Waco, non-conference game, Getterman Stadium, 4-3. Looks like they're going to review this.
Part of the OU men's baseball team. Like, there's a history here. There's a story
School
here.
with Jen Rocha and Melissa Lombardi.
Yes. I mean, there is a history here.
There is. And he's done a remarkable job at Oklahoma State, and it's been the depth of the league that has improved it so much. Oklahoma State's been a big part of that. Mike White coming into Texas, elevating them all the way to the College World Series final. But Iowa State, Jamie Pinkerton, and Patty Gasso was talking about that team.
Yep.
She said, yeah, we swept them, but don't let the numbers fool you. They are an improving program.
They're on the up and up, 100%.
So Boone is ruled safe after the review. Here's Jada Coleman. Pops up the bunt. It'll land foul.
She's pressing. I can see it. I think that Coleman is frustrated with herself, the fact that she hasn't worked her way on and earned her way on. I can just see it. I see the wheels turning. This is an athlete I know very well.
Coach knows very well. You can see it in her smile.
She's like, quit pressing up there and just do your job. For me, what I'm seeing and the advice I would give Coleman in this moment is quit trying to do too much. Just trust yourself. Get up there and do your job.
When you can do so much,
Right.
you're capable of it.
But
Is it
just-
hard not to?
It is. It's so hard when you know what you can do to not try and grip the wheel super tight, dig your claws in. Just relax. Just breathe. Just breathe. See the tap on the helmet. She knows. She knows.
She is the best there is at pushing the right buttons and knowing her players.
Retweet. Amen to that.
I think she might have had the wrong card.
Part of me is thinking we might see some type of movement
Action
here.
play?
We might see an execution style play here. Very classic Patty Gasso move, especially with this duo with Riley Boone on first and Jada Coleman at the plate. A lot of wheels between these two.
How about that? A high fly ball into right center field. It'll be chased down by Mia Scott for the first out. And Riley Boone has to return to first base. That is 12 of 16 batters retired by Sophia Simpson. And Jada Coleman is still hitless on the night with a run scored.
You don't say that often, do you?
You don't. And Jada Coleman got out, but I liked the action call. I liked that movement because whenever you're a hitter and you're so kind of caught up in your own head, you're caught up in your own self, whenever you get a call, you don't have any choice to think. You have to do it. That's what you have to do.
Boone on the move. The throw to second base by Atwood. Not quite in time as Martinez applies the tag. So Riley Boone now 5 out of 6 in the stolen base department this year. Longhorns saying, let's look at it. You
Yeah.
can see the indication from Leanne Good.
You can see Good signaling headphones there, and I think that Mike White
He's going to call for it.
is going to go for it. Interesting. Ooh, I think Boone's hand got in there.
I think it barely got in there. At first, I thought she got her, but with not this view that we had, but the one before, I think like barely just got underneath there.
Transition between glove to hand.
And
There
they
it
did.
is.
So
Wow.
Atwood
They overturned it.
had a couple of calls overturned tonight. So Riley Boone is cut down by Atwood. And it's 2 down in the inning. What a great look from the drone cam tonight.
That looks fake.
It does. Is that AI? Is this fake?
Oh, let's not get into an AI discussion. At least not yet.
Before you know it, they're going to have robots replacing our positions.
Oh, let's hope not. Fortunately, I'm a little closer to the end of my career than you are.
No, Chad. It's about perspective.
Tiare Jennings hits this one to deep left field off the top of the fence. Dayton will gather it up, and Sooner fans are saying in Tiare we trust tonight. She has been the catalyst. She's been most of the offense for Oklahoma.
Talk about AI. It looks like a video game when she plays. It looks too easy. I'm trying to wrap my brain around the anomaly that is Tiare Jennings, and I just can't ever truly grasp the talent that we've been able to witness in her. It's so effortless. We're talking about inches from having a second homer in this game.
Literally maybe 1 inch.
Unreal.
And again, Simpson has been doing a phenomenal job. She's been keeping these hitters off balance.
This is driven down the right field line by Lee. It bounces off the glove of Maloney, and in to score comes Tiare Jennings. We will see how this one is scored. Haley Lee continues to hit the ball hard, but should that have been caught in right by Maloney?
How about this duo?
Doing it all.
Together, they have strung all of the runs.
They have.
All 6 runs
Yeah, they've
between
driven
these
in
two.
all 6.
Not almost, it is all 6.
I beg your pardon. That ball was well in front of her. So the RBI single by Haley Lee is her second driven in tonight. Tiare Jennings has now scored 3 runs and driven in 4. 6-1 Oklahoma. And Kinzie Hansen will be the batter.
Oklahoma has adjusted offensively. So if I'm defense, if I'm Hapwood, I call time, I talk to Simpson. We have to make an adjustment. What adjustment do we need to make? Because right now it's been going. They've had the momentum. They've gotten on base. You can feel it from Oklahoma's side. Simpson needs to make an adjustment because she's been doing so well with being ahead. But right now she's running a little bit behind because Oklahoma has caught on to the adjustment that she made from last inning. And she hasn't quite made that transition into, okay, what's my next move now?
Run on 2 hits for the Sooners in the inning to open up a 6-1 lead. Kinzie Hansen is 1 out of 3. She hit into a double play her last time up. Singled in the first inning.
It's a good pitch. Not even worried about the check swing. That looks money from our angle.
Absolutely.
It's like Avery Hodge coming in to flash the speed.
So the runner at first base for Haley Lee will be Avery Hodge. Oh, 2 pitch coming.
Simpson thought about the off speed, kind of spiked it a little bit, but I like that thought. Kinzie Hansen, she gets geared up and she is a competitor and she is clutch. But you get a lot of momentum, you get back to back to back. It's easy to get lulled into that excitement. A little bit of off speed to slow her down.
2-1 in the air, deep straightaway center field, and this one is gone. Third Sooner home run of the night. It comes off the bat of Kinzie Hansen. It is a 2-run blast, and Oklahoma leads this game now 8-1. They can hit you quickly. They can hit you powerfully.
And just listen to the roar of this crowd. Immediate reaction. This ball left waist high over the middle of the plate, not in on the hand. Simpson has been doing a great job all night. This pitch against Kinzie Hansen, elevated over the plate. Can't be doing that because that's the result that you're going to get.
She has one of the most beautiful swings. So sound, solid, strong. You mentioned her size earlier this game. She's a tall kid with a lot of power.
But she's able, even with her height, she's still able to get those pitches that are way low. And
she can golf.
Power.
She can golf up there if she needs to. Oh, yeah.
Women's golf team looking for somebody?
I mean,
I don't know how her putting game is, but her driving game?
long off the tee.
No. Golf messes up your softball swing. Here's Grace Lyons, been on base 3 times tonight. 2 hits and a walk. 8-1 Sooners.
Again.
Simpson had been the tonic until here.
Yeah. If Lyons goes yard here, by the way, that's ball game.
Yeah. Gets under it, pop up on the infield. Simpson will catch it, and the inning is over. But Oklahoma, 3 runs, including their 3rd home run of the night. Jordy Ball's night, 6 innings of 2-hit ball to this point, has given up only the home run to start the game from Leanne Good.
Yeah, only a 2-hit ball game, and we were just talking about it. She has struggled still in the circle. Even with the 5 Ks, she's had 4 free bases. She's had 3 walks and a hit by pitch and has labored. I mean, this is definitely, if you asked her, she would answer. This is not her best outing by any stretch, but she's powered her way through, Nicole. She's figured out a way to scrap and claw her way through innings. and allow her offense room to do what they know how to do, and that's what makes this team so deadly. Even when one caliber of all facets of your game isn't quite as sharp as it could be, the other modalities of what you can bring to the table step up in a big way, and that's what we've seen from Oklahoma.
Trying to go the distance is Jordy Ball. And quickly it is 0-2. Katie Simmons tonight is 0 for 1. Got hit by a pitch back in the first inning. Popped up to first base in her second plate appearance.
You can just see it in her demeanor. Last inning it started. It's carried over to this inning. She's just very fierce right now. She's very strong. She's very assertive and sure.
She looks in control. We haven't seen that up until, again, just the past 2 innings.
This one fouled out of play. Jordy Ball's coming off a one-hitter against Iowa State last Saturday. He's given up 2 hits in this one, approaching 100 pitches. These teams will get back after it. ESPN2 national broadcast the next 2 days at noon Eastern and 11 o'clock Central, as they'll take it down I-35 about 35 miles to Marita Hines Field. I hope they let the fans keep these foul balls. Been at games this year where you show somebody and they catch the foul ball, they're sitting there, and a security person comes up and says, "Can I have that?"
That's
I
mine.
think they trade them out. So they keep the game ball, but they give you a souvenir ball.
Okay,
They
that's
do
fair.
it. They
It's a
do it.
win-win.
They do at least at Marita Hines. I would know because I sold that partnership.
This one popped up foul. It will reach the seats. So just to make sure you're up to speed on the rest of this series. Be 11 a.m. Central, Marita Hines Field. The next 2 days to wrap up this Red River rivalry.
Our Women's College World Series crew is in the house. Beth Mowens, Michelle Smith, and Amanda Scarborough, our very own, are here to bring you every pitch of the next 2 games.
And I'll be honest, I can't wait to watch and listen to them.
They are the best.
You know, it's a big weekend for women's sports. Oklahoma setting records. Final 4 for women's in Dallas tonight. It's been really cool to see the rise and the progression of fans who appreciate what these sports look like. Yes, they're similar, but they're not quite the same. That's okay, because they're still interesting. They're still competitive.
Well said, Nicole. And here at the University of Oklahoma campus, there's an NCAA women's gymnastics regional that's happening just down the street from us. Oklahoma is the reigning national champion also in women's gymnastics. KJ Kindler's team, and they're ranked #1 in the country. Simmons takes the walk to start the 7th inning. Second time that she's been on base tonight. That breaks a string of 5 straight set down by Jordy Ball. Vivian Martinez to the plate. 0 for 2 night for her. She has grounded to second base and struck out so far. Bouncing ball backhanded, and they just do get the out. Jennings flips to Grace Lyons. Simmons nearly beat that at second base, but it's the first out.
Even that play right there. Jennings makes that look easy. Guys, this is not an easy play to make. This is a backhand that she has to go up the middle of the field behind the bag and shove it out of her glove to Grace Lyons. Unreal. That is not easy to do.
It is not. Just the speed of which you have to get the ball out of your glove while your body is still moving. Hit your target. Not easy. Hit on really quick. Texas I think their adjustment from this game to tomorrow, they're probably going to sit in their hotel. They're going to huddle up and say, okay, what's an adjustment that we want to make? And they're going to look back on all the times their offense has gotten caught at second base too many times. So if they're able to eliminate that out at second base, they're going to start to see themselves in better positions. The game's going to be tighter. It's going to be tougher. That's what you're going to see.
To me, it's those defensive miscues, too. If they can control the things they can control, you just can't give up free passes against a team like this. And Texas is a really good team. Very good team. They are a postseason caliber team that we will see compete at the highest level come postseason. I promise you that. But not giving up those freebies like they have today against Oklahoma.
2 errors committed, not completely clean. And Oklahoma has been so far. Atwood is 0 for 2. Jordy Bahl looking to finish things off. Pursues her 9th win of the year and her 7th complete game. Pulled to third, backhanded by Brito. She'll go across the diamond, and good job there by Erickson to keep her back foot on the bag to record out number 2.
Hello, stretch. What a stretch.
You can see Coach Z for Texas saying her foot came off the bag.
So Atwood's going to stay put there at first base as we look again.
Brito taken to the knees, little bobble.
Ooh, hard to tell from that angle.
And that angle.
That's tough. I don't know if her foot came off or she slid it across the bag.
I think it's a good choice right here by Texas to go to the heads.
It's the 7th.
Why not?
You cannot be.
It is hard.
You can't be more on the spot than Danny Bowman is right there. I mean, he is right in front of it. And is it off to the second base side of the bag? A lot of these Sooner fans clapping. Martinez able to make second base on the play. Ashton Maloney here, the final hope for the Longhorns. And 0-2. Ooh, that was called outside. I can tell by the fans' reaction.
And again, I think that's a good take. You're not wanting to chase after pitchers' pitches. You're down to your last out here. You don't want to surrender that. You don't want to be chasing, poking away. Make her bring it in a little bit more.
Maloney's been on base twice tonight with a walk and a base hit back in the 5th.
Somebody gave up Taylor Swift tickets to be here.
Would you do that?
That's love. I'm not a Swiftie.
I
gotta
was
be
about to
honest.
say,
I'm not a Swiftie. Sorry. Sue me.
I would miss Taylor Swift for this. I would.
Little flare, foul. Again, huge shout out to these fans. 8,930 of them to watch this series opener, an NCAA regular season single game attendance record. And by over 4,000, that's past the previous high.
Couldn't believe the record hasn't been broken since 2000.
2000. Swing and a miss. Jordy Bahl goes the distance, and Oklahoma takes the series opener 8-1 in the Red River rivalry.
If I'm Jennifer Rocha, I'm loving the perseverance, just this persistence out of Jordy Bahl to get better and better and better. This is something that she's going to look back on and go, I can do this. I can do, even if I don't start hot, I can continue to show up for my team when it matters most on a big stage. In this moment, that was a big moment for Jordy. I liked what I saw to her in a full game. Stick that one in the back pocket, move on to day 2.